Okay, now let me show you how to set up task number 2. At first we have to add a Full HD display to your workspace. You will find the Full HD display on the left side in the library under Displays, Generic, and we just use a generic 40 inches Full HD display and we just drag and drop it to our workspace. Then you have to download all the training content you will find on the web page or in Microsoft Teams where we added you. And then it's the question if you have, for example, a display if you have a display connected to your output of your laptop or your computer or whatever. If you have one, then you can connect it in your Live tab, local, and here is your output, for example. To do so, you have different possibilities. Either you select the screen, and in that case we have a display, so as it was shown in the webinar, you have to select the screen selection mode up here. So now you are able to select all objects from the Screens tab. And now you can select the screen, either right-click, assign output to selected image device, or you just drag and drop it on your screen, or you select the screen itself and you find your outputs on the right side here as well in the inspector, and then you can checkbox output 6 for this screen as well. Okay, then let's see what we have to do next. For a better overview, create subfolders in your resources and sort the content. Okay, then let's go to Compositing tab, go to Resources, and let's create some subfolders. So it always depends which level you select. Underneath that one, the new folder will be created. So for example, if I now select Media and create a new folder, then I can double click in it to rename it. So the first one should be Video, and it should be separated into picture sequence and video. So in that case, I just leave the selection on Video folder and create a new folder underneath. One should be picture, sequence, and a second folder which is called video. So we do the same for pictures. In that case, I go back to my media folder, create a new folder, double click, pictures, and we also need an audio folder, and in pictures we need some subfolders. One is called 16 by 9, or let's make it like this. Another one should be 21 by 9, and another one should be logo. Okay, and then we have the video folder, we have picture logo, and we have audio logo, the audio folder. Okay, in the next step we have to create some layers. So layers can be created just by double click down here in the timeline, or by hitting the plus add layer, so you can create more layers as well. And we need one overlay layer, 2 background layer, and 1 audio layer. So in total we need 4 new layers. So let's create them. And to have a better overview, we also give them different names. So the first one should be overlay 1. So then I select the layer 1 here and type in overlay 1 in the inspector. So in the inspector you will always find all the informations, all the settings, what you can change on an object. In that case, it's a layer, for example, or if we have clips on the timeline, you will find all settings in the inspector on the right side as well. So it's always the same, even if you have projectors, displays, whatever in the inspector, you always find the settings and the things you can change on that selected object. So the second layer should be background 1. Then let's name it to background 1. Make life a little bit easier. Copy that one. This should be background 2, and the last one should be audio 1. Okay, then the next question is assign different colors to your layers. Okay, so then I select the layer again. As you know, in Inspector you will find all the settings. So let's scroll down a little bit, and here we find layer color, and let's color this one to pink, purple, whatever. So background, let's color background bluish, this one as well, and audio should be red, for example. Okay, so now we have different layers. If we want to size them a little bit down, you can use the button up here. So it's a little bit, so you get a little bit, you get a little better overview over your timeline. Okay, and then point 7, save a copy of this project as template. Well, at first we have to add content, of course, so pictures, video, and standard, so I forget this one. The easiest way, for example, is to just open your internet, not your Internet Explorer, your normal Windows Explorer, then just navigate to your content folder, you download it, and in here you will find all the content you need for the whole training. So 16:9, I just select all pictures, drag and drop it inside here, and then I'm going to be asked if I want to import it as picture sequence. No, I don't want to import it as picture sequence. The software thinks it's a picture sequence because we have picture 1, 2, 3, 4. So they are named in a row. In that case, I click no because I want to have them separated. 21:9 should be the same. No. And logos, let's add the logos as well. No. Then let's change over to videos. Here we have 16:9, 21:9 as well. In that case, we just add the 16:9 in here, and we just have 121:9, and we put it inside here as well. And then last but not least, we also want to import the picture sequence. So I just select the first picture, move it over to picture sequence. The software automatically detects the folder or detects that there is a picture sequence in the folder. So the first file of the sequence is picture 1, and the last one is 1800. And yes, I'd like to import it as picture sequence. And then we also like to add some audio files. We just have 2 files, and drag and drop it in my resources tab as well. Okay, you also can import media by hitting the plus, but if I want to add more media files at once, it's easier to just drag and drop it. And here you also see the picture sequence. Pixera handles the picture sequence as like a video, and now you can easily use it on your timeline. Now let's go back to the task. Point 7 asks you to save this project as a template, because later on we always start again from this template, because we already have different layers. We already have all the content in this project, so we don't have to do this again and again. And further, we also have a display in here. It's already connected to your output. You also can start the render engine by using the buttons down here, activate all assigns output, or you just press F5. If you press Shift Escape, you can close the render engine, or you just click on that button. That's fine as well. So you just go up here to settings, to the wheel, to the gear wheel. Then you just go to Save As, select any folder you want to save it, and then we just type in task template. In the next part, we have to start building a small show. To do so, we have to place picture 1 to 4 on your background 2 layer. Then we have to set them to 15 seconds duration each, and we have to add a 1 seconds fade in and fade out on each picture. Okay, so since I have to create a fade in and fade out on each picture and I have to change the duration, I just start with picture 1, because then afterwards, if I modified it in a way I'd like to have it, I just copy paste it on my timeline, and so I just have to do it once. So I just drag and drop the first picture to my timeline, type in 15 seconds. Then I'd like to zoom in a little bit. You can use plus and minus on the keyboard, or you just use the glass up here. And now I create a fade in and fade out. To do so, I have to double click to create the opacity keyframe. So now you see how you can fade it down and fade it up. And the first should be at 0, 0, and the second one should be at 1 second with opacity of 100%. Then we need another keyframe nearly at the end. It should be at 14 seconds, and it should be at 100%, and another one at the very end of the picture. So then let's zoom out a little bit more, and let's put the picture at the very beginning of the timeline. Okay, so now I just select my picture, Control C. Then I have to select my layer where I want to copy my picture to, and then I make life easy. I use my keyframes or my shortcuts on the keyboard to jump to the very end of the first picture. So with Shift and arrow keys left on your keyboard, you can jump to the beginning or the end of a video. Control V, then Shift, Control V 4 times because we have 4 pictures. And then I just change the content for each object in here. So then the next part is place video 1 on background 1, expand its duration to be as long as the 4 pictures on background 2. Okay, then I change over to my videos, take my video 1, put it on my timeline, move it here, and expand it so that it's as long as the 4 pictures. And then set the opacity of this video to 0 at the end of each picture, blend in this video for 2 or 3 seconds and blend it out again. So again, I just do it once and copy it to the rest of the positions. So it should be by default at 0, and here it should be somewhere here. So I just select both, move it somewhere here. Then I make another one, and let's make it like this. Then I select all keyframes just by pressing Control on the keyboard and selecting the shortcuts, then Control C. And now you can use Alt and arrow keys to jump to the beginning or to the next keyframe. Then just copy paste. Then I can step through them, go back here, copy paste, or I just move my locator with the mouse, copy paste, that's it. And maybe let's move them a little bit more to the left, and it should fade out here again. So basically that's the task. You have to create a display, assign it to your output, create some subfolders, insert all your content, create a small show on your layers. So at first you have to create the layers, of course, and don't forget to save your project in the end.